3 reasons why I don't like giving birth in Utah. First, you're treated as a number rather than a person. And that's because here women have 4, 7, 10 kids, and for them, you're just one more. So they will not give you any special treatment and usually are annoyed by your questions, especially if you're a first-time mom. And I swear, it almost feels like they prefer that A, you bug the nurse instead of asking them anything, or B, Google it. Because gosh forbid to ask them questions even though they're getting paid $200 to be in a room with you for 5 minutes. Second, most doctors just want to get done with your pregnancy and will do whatever it takes to make it happen. But by 39 weeks, if you haven't had your baby, they pretty much schedule an induction. And let me show you my story with you really quick because it's a horror movie. So I was 39 weeks and I went to the hospital because I had the induction scheduled. Getting there, they gave me as much Pitocin as possible. And since I didn't progress within 3 hours, meaning that I was only 2.5 centimeters dilated, the doctor broke my water, which later found out that they're not supposed to do that. But I had no idea and she was telling me that that would speed up the process. So what happened? My baby started suffering and I ended up having an emergency C-section. All because they didn't want to wait for my body to be ready. And when they took me to the surgery room, they had to drug me so much because I was having a huge panic attack and it was not only affect me, but also the baby. So I don't really remember my birth. And last, the lack of care and humanity. After having my C-section with the doctor I was seeing throughout my entire pregnancy and who also saw me the day after the C-section with my baby, walks into the office at my 4 or 6 week appointment and asked me, how was it? I was so confused and I told him, you were there. So he looked at me and said, no, it says here on your chart that it was another doctor who did your C-section. Yeah, allegedly your assistant. And then I reminded him that the day after the C-section, he came to see me and my baby and I gave him a gift, like a little bitty that I had crocheted for him as a thank you gift for helping me throughout my entire pregnancy and my birth. And that's when he said, oh yeah. And now I'm feeling like trash. You know, he's asking all the routines questions and then during the exam I finally bring it up about this car and how it is not straight. And after he looked at it, he had the audacity of looking at me and telling me if I wanted to get it fixed, I could have another C-section or I could get a plastic surgery to fix it. What? At that point, I was so mad and I told him, who is paying for that plastic surgery? Because this is your mistake. And he told me again that sometimes that happens and there's nothing he can just do and yada yada, and just like that he left. And I'm only sharing this because I know I'm not the only one who has been traumatized by the medical system here. But there is hope. Because for my second baby, I refused to let them dictate my birth. I got a midwife, a supportive hospital, and a really dear friend of mine that actually came and became a doula. And all of those people were there to advocate for me and my baby, not their pockets. So if I can give you any advice, do not let them turn your birth into a transaction. By the team that respects your body. This is your experience and holding your baby for the first time deserves to be the best day of your life. I really hope this helps you to find some clarity now when planning to give birth next time if you're here in Utah.